most of cocoa, it was by the day's effort of the great Tetehh Quarshie. But as a family, we have a little concern that over the years, successive governments seem to have lost sight of the great input of the great Tetehh Quarshie. We know there are a lot of things and benefits that other people benefited because of cocoa. For instance, the scholarships that were given to cocoa farmers and their children. But the issue is that Tetteh, where he comes from, Labadi, where he comes from, and also where he comes from, unfortunately, cocoa does not grow there. And we are very thankful to God that the people of Mampon Akwapen received him when he was serving and working then as a missionary and a blacksmith. And that is where most people know he settled. But we are here today to say that his legacy seems to be getting lost. And sadly speaking, we want to make sure that wrong is corrected. There is this organization called the Tetehh Quarshie Heritage Fund, which I was privileged about a year ago to be nominated to become their chairman to. And part of the initiative was to make sure we call on your high office to help us correct some of this wrong or some of this oversight. Because the truth is that we've noticed the people of Osu, the people of La, and the people of Tetteh, where he originally is from, and even the people of Mampon Akwapen, who really received him, are still going through certain challenges that they don't have the privilege of benefiting from the scholarships that other people benefit from. So do we also think that there are a lot of institutions and vocational training centers that were named after him that are not properly supported. And there's no gainsaying that if we even go to the Tetehh Quarshie Memorial Hospital now, it's certainly not as as some of our hospitals in Ghana. But we believe that the vast amount of money that comes from around the world to Ghana is because of cocoa. So we are here today to let you stand with us and to see how we can create a dialogue for us to develop a proper structure and put things in place properly so that we can also let people who don't necessarily have cocoa farms but are members of this great man, Tetehh Quarshie, be enhanced and be supported. So with me here is Francis.
Let me first welcome you very warmly to the seat of the presidency of our country, and to say that this is a very auspicious day for us. I think that if there's one name that has to be revered by all Ghanaians for generations and generations and generations, without number, it is the name of this man. His industry, sense of adventure, and his foresight is what has kept our country alive these last 100 years. I have been to Fernando Pool. It's now called Malabo. No, this one. No, the island.
The capital is Malabo.
No, not the capital.
The island is called
Bioko.
Bioko.
Bioko. I've been there, and I know the origin of this potentially the greatest story in Ghanaian history. This man who went there and came back here with these ponds and the transformation that he has brought in Ghana. So I'm sad about what you're saying, that you, his descendants, feel that somehow he's being ignored in the unfolding story of Ghana. But given all of these examples, I think they're very fair. And unfortunately, someone was talking about how deprived certain areas are, Usula, Teshi, that's true of Ghana, unfortunately. Yes, 61 years after independence, we haven't done well in many, many aspects of our national life. So now, all of us have to put our shoulder to the wheel and get going. But in getting going, in many cases, you always need an inspiration, a light. And he represents one of the best inspirations we as Ghanaians can have. I think that all the things you have put down, I've always wondered why there is no structure at the Quarshie Hall, the circle. There should be.
Thank you.
My grandfather, all these people who were responsible for modern Ghana, Addo Dankwa, Big Six, well, they've got statues all in different parts of Ghana and others. I think it would be very appropriate. So that's something that would be within my remit. And I think that it is something that we can organize. And I would be very honored to organize that. I don't know about the cocoa trees in the circle, but I think a statue of him there would be very appropriate. We're talking about establishing the cocoa farm. We began to work on it. We can see what the Ministry of Agriculture, Cocoa Board between them, we'll give them a report of this meeting and they can see what they can do. Public finances are constrained across the board. So that you have to understand. I think everybody in Ghana understands it. We'll find a way of being able to make some assistance and give some push to it. It would be very, very appropriate to link his name to the TVET development. I think it is one of the most important things that we have to do in the next 5-10 years. Concentrate on TVET education and delivery. I've said so publicly in the last 2 weeks on 2 important occasions. The national conference on TVET delivery that took place in Akuffo Addo 2 weeks ago. I went to open the conference because I believe that technical vocational education and training is one of the most important keys for the future, to open the door of prosperity for the future Ghana. And he's a very good symbol of that. So we should find some way of associating his name with some developments in this area. These are all the things that you put down. What I can say at the moment is that some of them are relatively easy for us to adopt. Those that are more complex, we will see. But I want to give you the assurance that the plea that you're making to me will not fall on deaf ears. It's extremely important that people like him are honored. They are an example for the future, the young and the future generations of Ghanaians. And it is important that we have a history where we have heroes of outstanding men and women through whose effort we are where we are today. And his name and achievement and output rank with the most important names we can think of in Ghana. So I'm grateful for this visit. You've taken due note of all that you have said. Like I say, those that are easy for us to pick up and do, we will do it. those that are more complex, we'll let you know. But I think that the general thrust of what you're trying to do here this afternoon is one I welcome. I think it is fitting that we should respond positively to the statements you have made and the sentiments you've expressed and the requests that you have made. So I want to thank all of you very much. You didn't introduce the people. Yes.